Operation Chaos. That wasn't too bad. I mean, I died quite a bit because we would like miss that one or two enemies like behind us, and then it's just like, well, shit. All right. This one says there's new evidence, but all right.
MI6 has spent the last year tracking a group of embedded Soviet agents within multiple European governments. These agents could be strategically positioned to set up a larger Soviet plan for Europe. During a recent operation, we acquired information about this group's structure. There are 3 unidentified key agents leading it, and their handler is the Soviet Major Vadim Rudnik, a name previously connected to Perseus. We have Rudnik's position and can move on it, but if we don't first identify his 3 lead agents, we risk losing our chance to take all of the embedded agents down. Check out our list of suspects here. Special evidence you find on missions will help identify the 3 lead agents. I'd advise figuring out who they are before going after Rudnik.
Alright, review suspects. Alex Superdy, male, 1918. Dijon, France. Oh, that's where a race course is. Helsinki, Finland. Edinburgh, Scotland. There's France. Special pieces of evidence that contain clues. Leslie Sinclair, Barcelona, Spain. East Berlin, West Berlin, Rome, Italy. Harvey Spray. I don't know about that. Aaron Lee, Hamburg, Germany, Poland, Italy, Italy. Claire Kobenstein, Barcelona, Spain. This girl is so damn young. I don't believe she's no. Spain, Austria, Netherlands? I don't believe so. Jim Krieger, England, Denmark, Bavaria. Eliana Miller. I feel like anybody that grew up within Germany, I feel like anybody that grew up around territories in World War II could be spies. Like, I don't believe she's a spy. I feel like this guy might be a spy. Because he was in East Berlin, and then he was on West Berlin. Okay, you know what? Actually, here, let's take a look. Let's take a look at this. So his recent travel list was East Berlin. Alright? So he was there. He was there for 3 months. And then he went to West Berlin. He was in West Berlin for less than a month. And then he went to Italy. I feel like this guy could be a guy that, like, could be a spy. Hamburg, Germany, and 80. Poland. So he went from Germany. He was in Germany for a day, and then he went to Poland. And then he went to Italy a few months later. I don't know. What about Calvin Dunn? Sweden, Copenhagen, France. I don't believe this dude's bad. Belgium, Denmark, Germany. I don't believe so. Spain. She was in Spain for a year. And then went to Austria. And then she went from Austria to the Netherlands. I feel like this dude could be a suspect. I feel like he for sure could be a suspect. Germany, Poland, 2 trips to Italy. Sweden. He was in Sweden for 3 months. Then he went to Denmark. And then he was in Denmark for a month and some change. And then he went to Paris. I don't believe it's him. Belgium. Italy. Let's see. He was in England for 2 months, like a month and a half, really. Then he went to Denmark, and then he went to Bavaria. How many can we mark? We can mark, what, 3 of them, right? Okay. I feel like, I don't know. This dude, so he was born in 35, so he was like a, he was like a child when everything happened with the Third Reich. I feel like this dude could be, because you gotta start him young, right? Like, that's how, that's why I don't think it's this girl. This girl's way too young. Like, anybody born in the 30s has probably got a good chance to be a spy. Or, like, in the late 20s. Like, this dude, he was 15 or 16 going into World War II, which means he would have been 25, 26 when the Cold War started. That's a good age. This dude would have been 10 years younger. I feel like this dude would have been too young. Anybody that's, I feel like in between the 25 and 35 would be like a suspect. Like, this dude could be a suspect. Because he would have been around that age. I mean, he was in Sweden. And then he went to Denmark. It doesn't show their place of birth. I wish I knew their place of birth. I don't think it's her, and I don't think it's him. I don't believe it to be this girl. I know for a fact it's not her. She's way too young. She would have been 3 or 4 years old when, like, the Cold War started. There's no way. She's, as of right now, she's living in the Netherlands. She's 34. She's a year older than me, technically, at this moment. This dude who lived in both sides of Germany is definitely a guy, I feel like. This dude could be somebody. Because he was in the Axis territories of World War II. So as of right now, we have somebody in Paris, France. We have somebody in Liechtenstein. We have somebody in Italy. We have 2 people in Italy. Oh my, wait a minute. Wait, these 2 got to Italy at the same time. Spray and Lee. And Spray, or no, Super T and Dunn got to France at the same time. This lady's also in France at the same time. What are these 2 doing in France at the same time? I don't know. We have 2 people in Italy at the same time. And Super T and this girl were born in the same year. And this dude was born in 31. Is it possible that Miller, Dunn, and Super T are all related, maybe? No, that wouldn't make any sense. Because that means he would have had to have been born while she was age 13. That wouldn't have not done anything. There's only 3 people here. Liechtenstein, Netherlands, Bavaria. These 3 all have different, like, areas to be. I don't believe it's her. Is there anybody else that went to the Netherlands? No. But see, like, Belgium, Denmark, Germany. Where was he in Germany? The 16th of September. Where were you? The 6th of December. Were you West Berlin? East Berlin. Aaron Lee was in Hamburg. Was there anybody else that went to Germany? No. Except for Aaron Lee. Anybody that was in Germany, I feel like could be a spy. Because Germany was still feeling the fallout of World War II. And the Soviets, if you remember, took Berlin first. The Soviets were the first one to make Berlin fall. I feel like this Eliana Miller girl could be a spy. But she's living in Paris. She's living in Paris at the same time as this dude. Which makes me think these two are in co-conspirators, because this dude is in Italy, and this dude went to Italy at the same time, and this dude was in Hamburg, Germany, in 1980. So what was Hamburg, Germany? Was that considered East or West? I guess that would be, what, Hamburg is West, right? No. Oh, I'm sorry. East and West Berlin were when the wall was up. So Hamburg is its own, like, city. It's not like an actual city. It's not a split city. I feel like these dudes are spies. I'm gonna mark him. Now, who would this third one be? I think he's too old. I don't think she's a spy. She lives in Liechtenstein. Like, she doesn't live in a territory that could be of any use for anybody. Although it is a little strange that she spent less than 1 month between. Actually, no. She went from Spain, and then the next month she went to England, and then the next month she went to Liechtenstein. That's a little odd. I feel like this dude could be the third one. These 3 would put them all in the age. Germany, Sweden. I don't know. I feel like it's her. $1204.80. $1204.80. Okay. I need to figure out, like, the dates. Wait a minute. These 3 were all in Denmark at the same time. Was anybody else in Denmark at the same time? Look. Sweden, and then went to Denmark. 1204.80. 1204.80. 1204.80. One went to Bavaria the next month. One went to France. I'm sorry, no. One went to... 2 days later, she went to Germany from Denmark. And then went to France. And then these 2 would be in France at the same time. While he's in Bavaria. These 3 were all in Denmark at the same time. But I get the feeling these 2... I mean, I don't know. East Berlin at 12,680? Oh, wait a minute. Harvey's not the guy. I don't believe it's him. I don't believe it's her. I thought it was this dude at first. But because the whole listen, how do you live in East Berlin for 3 months? And then you live in West Berlin for not even a month, and then you go to Rome. Wasn't West Berlin supposed to be the better of the Berlins back then? Like, West Berlin was like free world of Germany, and East Berlin was like Soviet world of Germany. Like, how do you spend less time on the Soviet side? Or I'm sorry, how do you spend less time on the free world side than you did on the? Well, maybe on the Soviet side he couldn't get out, and then once he did get out, he immediately left after going into free world of Germany, and that's why he went to Italy. This dude was in Hamburg on the 3rd. I feel like it's these three. All in Denmark at the same time. That can't be a coincidence. Okay, so Krieger was in Denmark for a month and 2 weeks. She was in Denmark for 2 days, and then she went to Soviet Germany and then back to Paris, France. How do you go from Belgium to Denmark in a span of a few weeks, but then choose to go to... Oh, wait a minute. I may need to look at a map, actually. Let me bring up Google Maps real quick on my phone. I'm sorry this is taking a while. This can be its own video. Me trying to dissect who is what here. I need to look at a world map because Belgium is one of those countries I kind of don't really remember where it's at in Europe. I have an idea of where it is. I think it's Eastern Europe, Belgium is. Let's see. There's Germany. No, oh, I'm sorry. Belgium is over next to the Netherlands. Okay, so she goes from Belgium to Denmark. Denmark is up there. So, okay, actually, yeah, let's do that real quick. Let's go through this. France, Finland. Isn't Finland way up here? Yeah. So this dude went from France to Finland. And then Scotland. And France. Where was he in Finland? Helsinki? Where's Helsinki? Helsinki's right there. It's like across the bay from St. Petersburg. And Estonia. How long was he in Finland for? Month and a half, it looks like. But then he went back to France. I think this dude was just traveling. Because how do you go from Finland to Scotland and then back to France? Like, what? I guess if you really look at it, you could say he went from France to go look at classified information that was closer to St. Petersburg and Russia and Ukraine, and then he went to Scotland to see maybe what the British thought about it, and then he went back to France. I feel like that's very unlikely. All right, let's take a look at this girl. Spain, England, Liechtenstein. I don't know where Liechtenstein is. Where is Liechtenstein? I don't know. Let's see. How do you spell this? Oh, it's in Germany. Oh, so she's in Germany, actually. So she went from Spain to England to Germany. I feel like she was just... I don't know. East Berlin, West Berlin, Italy. I feel like this dude could have been a spy. Especially pieces of evidence that contain clues that aspiring suspects are hidden inside missions. What? Really? Oh, let me examine the evidence. KGB profile of Vladimir Rudnik. According to CIA intelligence, Soviet Major Vladimir Rudnik has collaborated with Perseus for several years as they work to install agents. Rudnik is apparently the handler. Is there anything on the other side of this? No. I don't know. But if we don't identify his 3 lead agents, we risk losing our chance to take all. Check out our list of suspects here. I'd advise figuring out who they are before going after Rudnik. Okay. Examine evidence. Aldrich. This is the traitor. Decrypt floppy disk? Access denied. If we decrypt the protection of the disk, we might be able to take down the entire spy ring. Okay, we already did that. So... it says we have new evidence here. I want to examine the evidence. Letter from Emerson Black. Okay. So we need to figure out who these, like, spies are, I guess. Where's Trebizond Airfield? Bloody dossier. See, oh, man, I don't know. So Rish Kadavar we killed. Quassam we took hostage. Moving crates of black market 1911s out of Turkey to an unknown dislocation. Amsterdam, a planning map. Greasing the hand. The Netherlands in 1976. The Netherlands in 1976. Oh no. Well, she's the only one that has the Netherlands on here, but that doesn't mean anything. Because the Netherlands was in 76. Unless if she was maybe the girlfriend or the wife of the one dude who was in the Netherlands. It is Amsterdam. No. She was in Spain. And then went to Austria and then went to the Netherlands, right? I feel like this girl would be way too young. Because she would have been, what, 3 or 4 years old? But we also don't know where she was born. I don't know. I wish I understood Russian or whatever this was. I don't know if we can do this one yet. Let's just go over here. Corey Bell Maidsley. Yeah, let's just do this one. Anton Valkov. A Russian mafioso in Berlin. Let's see. He was drifting between East Berlin and Strauss and the Stralsund waterfront prostitution rings, a slow corruption. From what the UK's military intelligence, Section 6, MI6, has gathered, Franz Kraus is one of Volkov's key pawns in East Berlin. Kraus lives and works close to the wall, often passing back and forth between East and West Berlin. Presumably, he is Volkov's chief. And cash. Kraus slew up in Dresden before relocating to Paris for a decade. After graduation, apparently his chief aspiration was to make a respected name for himself. But during that period, MI6 believed Kraus became first involved in organized crime. In 1972, he returned to Germany and has remained where he's remained ever since. Further... Oh, wait a minute. This actually kind of blows up that first target. No, that kind of blows up this dude. Because he went from East Berlin to West Berlin. Like, and then he's now in Italy. Like, I don't know. I think this dude for sure is a suspect. Unless if he was living in Soviet-occupied Germany and then wanted to just get out, which I guess would be understandable. The whole Copenhagen, Denmark thing is crazy. So these three people were in Denmark on the same day, and we just... Oh, and this puts her in East Berlin on the 6th. But, of the 6th of what, December? Yeah.